The baseball world woke up to something completely unexpected this morning, and nobody could have predicted that the most talked about moment of the entire MLB season would have nothing to do with a home run, a strikeout, or a game-winning play. What Shohei Ohtani did after the Kansas City Royals secured their victory has left the entire baseball community completely speechless. The images and videos capturing this extraordinary moment have already spread across every social media platform, and fans from every corner of the world are reacting with overwhelming emotion. This is the kind of story that reminds every single person why they fell in love with baseball in the first place. What exactly did Shohei Ohtani do that has moved an entire sport to tears? Why did Tarik Skubal, one of the toughest and most mentally strong pitchers in all of baseball, break down completely in front of his teammates and the entire world? What was inside the surprise gift that Ohtani personally handed to Skubal? And what does this stunning gesture tell us about the kind of human being Shohei Ohtani truly is beyond the baseball diamond? These are the questions that every fan, every analyst, and every person who has heard this story is desperately trying to answer right now. To fully understand the magnitude of what happened, it is important to go back to the days leading up to this unforgettable moment. The Royals and the Dodgers had just completed one of the most competitive and emotionally charged series of the entire season. Both teams had given absolutely everything they had on the field, and the atmosphere inside the stadium during each game had been electric from the very first pitch to the very last out. Players on both sides had pushed themselves to their absolute limits, and the mutual respect between the two rosters was visible and genuine throughout the entire series. Tarik Skubal, the Detroit Tigers ace who had been one of the most dominant pitchers in all of baseball this season, had been watching the series closely from a distance. Sources close to Skubal reveal that he had been going through an incredibly difficult personal period behind the scenes, away from the cameras and the spotlight that follows elite athletes everywhere they go. Those closest to him knew that despite his composed and professional exterior on the mound, Skubal had been carrying a significant emotional weight that very few people outside his inner circle were even aware of. It was in this deeply personal context that Shohei Ohtani reached out. According to sources familiar with the situation, Ohtani had become aware of what Skubal was going through mutual connections within the baseball community. Those who know Ohtani well say that this is entirely consistent with who he is as a person. Despite being the most famous and celebrated baseball player on the entire planet, Ohtani has always made it a priority to pay attention to the people around him, to notice when someone is struggling, and to respond with genuine warmth and generosity that comes entirely from the heart. Ohtani reportedly spent several days personally preparing the surprise gift for Skubal. Those involved in helping him organize the gesture say that Ohtani was deeply thoughtful and intentional about every single detail. He did not want this to feel like a casual or impersonal exchange. He wanted Skubal to know, without any doubt whatsoever, that the gesture came from a place of sincere respect, admiration, and human connection that went far beyond anything related to baseball or competition. The moment itself occurred in a private area just outside the main corridor of the stadium, shortly after the final out of the Royals game had been recorded. According to eyewitnesses who were present at the scene, Ohtani approached Skubal quietly and without any fanfare or announcement. He was not surrounded by cameras or publicists or team officials. He walked up to Skubal simply and directly, the way a genuine friend approaches another friend, and extended the gift with both hands, the traditional Japanese gesture of giving that speaks volumes about respect and sincerity. Those present at the scene say that Skubal initially did not understand what was happening. He looked at Ohtani with a mixture of surprise and confusion, completely caught off guard by the unexpected approach. But as Ohtani spoke quietly and explained what the gift was and what it meant, the expression on Skubal's face changed completely. According to eyewitnesses, it took only a matter of seconds before Skubal's composure broke entirely, and the tears that he had been holding back for a very long time finally came pouring out in front of everyone present. What was inside the gift has now become the most talked about detail of the entire story. Sources reveal that Ohtani had personally arranged a custom, handcrafted item that held deep and specific significance to Skubal's personal journey this season. It was not an expensive or flashy gesture designed to impress. It was something deeply personal, something that showed Ohtani had truly listened, truly paid attention, and truly cared about Skubal as a human being rather than simply as a fellow professional athlete. Those who saw the gift up close say that the level of personal thought that went into it was immediately obvious and impossible to miss. Along with the physical gift, Ohtani had included a handwritten note in both English and Japanese. Sources who have seen the note say that its contents were deeply moving and filled with genuine words of encouragement, respect, and solidarity. Ohtani reportedly wrote about the universal language of perseverance, about how the struggles that athletes face behind closed doors make their achievements on the field even more meaningful, and about how he personally admired Skubal's strength and dedication throughout what had clearly been an incredibly challenging period. Tigers manager A.J. Hinch, who learned about the gesture shortly after it occurred, addressed the media with visible emotion in his voice. Hinch said that what Ohtani did for Tarik was something that went far beyond baseball and far beyond anything that could be measured in statistics or wins or losses. He said that in all his years in professional baseball, he had seen many acts of sportsmanship and generosity, but that what Ohtani did for his pitcher was something genuinely different. Hinch paused for a moment before adding that it was the kind of gesture that reminded everyone in the sport why the human connections forged through baseball are so powerful and so lasting. Hinch confirmed that Skubal had been deeply moved by Ohtani's gesture and that the young pitcher had personally asked him to convey his gratitude to Ohtani and to the entire Dodgers organization. He said that Skubal was not yet ready to speak publicly about the experience because the emotions were still very raw and very real, but that he wanted the world to know how profoundly he had been touched by Ohtani's kindness and thoughtfulness. Dodgers manager Dave Roberts, when asked about the gesture during his post-game press conference, smiled warmly and nodded before saying a single word. Roberts said that nobody on the Dodgers roster was surprised by what Ohtani had done because this is simply who Shohei is as a person every single day. He said that Ohtani brings the same level of care, attention, and genuine humanity to his relationships off the field as he brings to his performance on it. Roberts added that having someone like Ohtani in the clubhouse elevates every single person around him, not just because of his talent, but because of the kind of man he chooses to be every single day. Freddie Freeman, speaking to reporters in the clubhouse after the game, echoed everything his manager had said and then added his own personal reflection. Freeman said that he had watched Ohtani put together the gesture over the past several days and that seeing the care and thought Ohtani poured into every detail was something that moved him personally. He said that Shohei could have done something simple and nobody would have thought less of him for it. But that is simply not who he is. Freeman said that Ohtani went far above and beyond because that is the standard he holds himself to in everything he does, whether the cameras are watching or not. Mookie Betts, who had witnessed the actual moment between Ohtani and Skubal firsthand, said that watching Skubal break down in tears was one of the most powerful things he had ever seen in a baseball stadium. Betts said that Skubal is one of the mentally toughest pitchers in the entire league, someone who competes with ice in his veins on the mound, and seeing him move to tears spoke volumes about just how deeply Ohtani's gesture had touched him. Betts said that moments like this are what make baseball so much more than a sport. They are what make it a genuine community of human beings who care about each other. Betts also revealed that after the moment between Ohtani and Skubal, the two players spent nearly 30 minutes speaking privately together away from everyone else. He said that nobody intruded on that conversation because everyone present understood instinctively that what was happening between those two men was something deeply personal and deeply important that deserved to be protected and respected. As the story spread rapidly across social media throughout the evening, the reaction from fans and fellow athletes was immediate and overwhelming. Former players, current stars, coaches, and supporters from every team in the league all took to their platforms to express their admiration for what Ohtani had done. The overwhelming message from every corner of the baseball world was the same. In a sport that is often defined by competition, statistics, and individual achievement, Shohei Ohtani had reminded everyone that the most powerful thing any person can do is simply show up for another human being when it matters most. Sources close to Ohtani say that the Japanese superstar has made no public comment about the gesture and has no plans to do so. Those who know him well say that this is entirely consistent with his character. Ohtani did not do this for attention, for praise, or for recognition. He did it because he saw someone who needed to feel seen, valued, and supported, and he responded the only way he knows how, with his whole heart, his full attention, and a generosity of spirit that has made him beloved not just in baseball, but across the entire world. Thank you for watching. Please share your thoughts in the comments section below. Subscribe to our channel for more interesting and up-to-date information.